everybody, and welcome back to the FPL Phillips YouTube channel and to another episode of FPL Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where I'm joined by another very special guest here to play along for some FPL trivia. This time it's going to be someone I've been wanting to get onto the channel for a hell of a while, and it's taken a lot of time to get it sorted, a lot of technical difficulties, but Roberto, or FPL Yellow Army as some of you might know him, is finally here. Thank you for making all the effort, mate, and happy to be here today.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for your patience and your expertise around these technical difficulties. But no, it's been really something I've really been looking forward to getting on. I love your series on this channel, and it's really exciting way to produce FPL content. Something really a breath of fresh air among content creators. So it's great to see you really excelling in the YouTube scene, and yeah, really happy to be on today.
Oh, thank you for the kind words, mate. I mean, he's had to do that intro like 2 times already, so he's getting better at it every time. Thank you very much, man. And yeah, so let's run through the rules for anyone watching who isn't quite familiar with how Who Wants to Be a Millionaire works. So you've got the 15 questions, but the money goes up as you answer more of them, but the questions get harder in difficulty too. But you're not just left to deal with them on your own devices. You have got some lifelines there to help you. So today Roberto has got 2 50-50s that he can use, and also 1 phone a friend. He's also got the safety nets at the £5 and the £25 mark. So once you reach that point on the 15 questions, that money is banked and you can't leave with less than that, even if you get a question wrong from there on out. As always, we're going to be doing this for charity. So today, Roberto, the last thing to ask you before we get into it is, which charity is it you're playing for?
Macmillan Cancer Support. So it's a charity really close to me. I think it's a really, pressing issue in society. We know a lot of people that are unfortunately affected by cancer. And I think any money that's raised towards, the incredible work that they do should hopefully be really worthwhile. So yeah, it's a really nice. Hopefully.
Yep, it's a great cause, and let's try and raise as much as we can for them today, shall we? So with that, let's get into the £1 question, which is going to be the following. To get 2 appearance points, how many minutes must a player play in FPL? A 60, B 65, C 70, or D 75?
Yeah, pretty confident with this one. As an FPL player myself, it's, the absolute be all and end all when a player doesn't those 60 minutes. As referenced by the legend Mark FPL General on his 59th minute via podcast. So yeah, I'm pretty confident the answer is A, 60, final answer.
Well, you're right to have that as your final answer, and yeah, great shout out to Mark. Hopefully we'll get him on here one day, you never know. But 59th minute substitution is one of the worst pains you can feel as an FPL manager, as those seconds tick down and the players walking off the pitch. I think we've all been there, haven't we, at some point? But yeah, that's £1 earned already, mate. Let's quickly get you into the £2 question and rattle off a few more of these easy ones. Making a transfer without having a free transfer will cost you how many points in FPL? A1, B2, C3, or D4?
Yeah, pretty nice and easy one, this one. It's something that I don't actually do very often. I'm quite a template and boring patient manager, but it's interesting with the changes to the game this year, having the ability to roll up to 5 free transfers. We might see a lot less in the upcoming season, but the answer is D, 4 points. Final answer.
Yeah, more commonly known as taking a hit. -4 is the correct answer. Yeah, one of the, I think every FPL manager knows, and some people have even been tempted into taking ridiculous hits in the past. And so as well, you have to know your 4 times table quite well if you're a brave manager, shall we say.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's £2 banked. Let's move into the £3 question now. Traditionally, which chip do we get 2 of per season as managers? A, bench boost, B, the triple captain, C, the wildcard, or D, the free hit?
Yeah, so again, this one to me is quite easy, but it's interesting because a few seasons back, we had the kind of COVID season and we had games behind closed doors, a lot of postponements. So we were given a second free hit when we'd usually always have just the one, which was quite an interesting kind of way to play the game. But generally the kind of season is split into 2 halves really, and those kind of consist of the first wild card and the second wild card. So yeah, going for a wild card, final answer.
Yeah, great little explanation there of why I had to use the word traditionally, and that is the correct answer. But yeah, C wildcard, the one we get before Christmas, after Christmas. You explained it very well. Nothing left for me to say really, other than that's £3 banked. And on to the £4 question now. So one's going to be a little bit trickier. Which of these teams at the start of last season, not this season, had only one selectable forward available in the FPL game? So they had only one forward at all. Man City is option A, B is Brighton, C is Newcastle, and D is Spurs.
Okay, so it's interesting. I'm thinking through those clubs. When you first asked the question, to be honest, the club that came to mind was West Ham, because there's always been a thing about Michail Antonio being their only striker, only kind of not many other players they've been buying in the transfer window. So that's interesting. That's ruled that out. Man City, pretty sure that they will, not be the answer, because obviously you've got Julian Alvarez there, you've got Haaland, and I remember Alvarez, at the start of the season was a kind of differential that I went out early on, so it's quite a nice memories back at the start of that season. Newcastle, Isak, obviously you've got Wilson, a few options there. The one I'm not sure about is Brighton. Obviously, they have a few different options, but a few loans. Undav, you had Andone a few seasons back. So my knowledge of outside of João Pedro, my knowledge of Brighton strikers, other options. So not so sure on that. And then Tottenham, obviously, we know that they didn't have too many options, but did they have at least one? Obviously, Kane had left. I'm not too sure. So I kind of think I've narrowed it down to a few there, but just to be 100% sure, I'll use the 50-50 for this one.
Okay, I think probably a wise choice. The 50-50 has removed Brighton and Newcastle.
Right, yeah, no, that's confirmed. I think with the Kane situation, I think maybe it was just Richarlison at the start of the season. So I'm going to say final answer, Spurs, D.
That is the correct answer. Very well done. And great use of the 50-50 there, leaving you with Man City, who you knew were not going to be the answer there. So it was actually Scarlett at 4.5, who was the only option. Richarlison was a midfielder last season.
Yeah.
And then, Brighton did have Evan Ferguson available as well, and Danny Welbeck. But really well done. And great great showing of how the lifelines should be used, especially the 50-50 there. So now we can move you into the £5 question. And if you get this one right, remember you're at the safety net where you can't leave with less than £5 today. So your question for this one is going to be, which player holds the record for the highest total points scored in a single FPL season? Your options for this one are A, Suarez, B, Salah, C, Haaland, D, Henry.
Yeah, so I think I'm pretty confident with this one. A lot of FPL players, can get into the 200 mark. We saw that at the end of last season, but not many players get into the 300s. And I'm pretty sure that it was actually the season before I started properly playing. I'm pretty confident that it was kind of an amazing first season at his new club, Liverpool, and he scored on his opening debut at Vicarage Road to the club Watford, who I support. So I'm pretty confident that the answer is Mohamed Salah. Final answer.
Wow, fantastic knowledge there. And yes, that is the correct answer, of course. The only player to break the 300-point mark with 303. And what a season that was. So yeah, that's £5 banked, mate. Congratulations. And as mentioned before, you're at the safety net now, so no need to worry about leaving with nothing today. So we'll move you into the next question, which will be for £7.50. Which team kept the most clean sheets in the season just gone, 23-24 season? A is Arsenal, B, Liverpool, C, Man City, D, Everton.
So I'm pretty sure I know this. It's kind of down to two in my head, because obviously we know that Pickford at the end of last season was the highest point scorer. Everton got a lot of clean sheets, and I think it was around 13 clean sheets if I remember rightly. But seeing as I remember that Raya ended up picking the Golden Glove, I'm going to lock in final answer, Arsenal.
I mean, yeah, great way to think about it. Obviously, the keeper who won the Golden Glove kept the most clean sheets and weren't too many keeper changes in those sides. So, of course, Arsenal is the correct answer. A is correct there. And that is £7.50 banked, mate. Congratulations. And yeah, only the one lifeline used so far. So we can move you into the £10 question now. For that, you're going to have to answer this one. Who was the earliest player in FPL to be priced at 14 million? A. Van Persie, B. Henry, C. Ronaldo, or D. Haaland?
Right, so Van Persie, Henry, Ronaldo, Haaland. So I can confidently rule out Erling Haaland because that was as recent as the 23-24 season. The others are interesting. Van Persie, obviously, Arsenal had a era around kind of the 2011-12 season, 12-13, where Van Persie Man United, but the few seasons before that, Van Persie did really well. Henry, obviously, in the kind of prime Invincible era, around kind of 2003, 2004. And Ronaldo came into the game, around the 2005-06 season, if I remember rightly. So I think by that logic, I'm confident that Henry would have been first. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because those kind of time periods, I think Henry was the one that kind of set the standard there. So I'm going to lock in Henry, final answer.
Didn't even question if they'd all been 14 million at all. But you've made it to the correct answer there. Henry was right. And yeah, I think he was 14 million before Ronaldo even hit Manchester United in a serious way anyway. But yeah, they had all been 14 million at some point. And very well worked out there, mate. Congratulations, that's £10 banked. And you're on to the £15 question now. So let's get you to there, hopefully with this one. Which of the following teams improved in expected goals conceded per game last season compared to the season prior?
Okay.
In other words, which was a better defence last season than they had been the one before? A. Nottingham Forest, B. Manchester United, C. Newcastle, or D. West Ham?
This is an interesting one because with Nottingham Forest, they're a team that a lot of people talked about how their XG conceded improved when Nuno came in. Obviously, their kind of XG conceded in their first season after getting promoted was pretty poor, and hence they did struggle and just about survived under Cooper. Man United, obviously, we know they do concede a lot of chances. I don't feel like from last season to the season before that would have changed by that much because I think in both seasons Manchester United probably conceded a lot of chances. One thing is for sure, they did concede a lot more this season, but whether it would be enough of a difference for them to be the most change. When it comes to Newcastle, yeah, their defence wasn't as strong this last season than the previous, but it comes to expected goals, and I think they did have kind of more goals conceded, so there's a chance with Newcastle. And then when it comes to West Ham, I don't think of them as a team. Obviously Areola makes a lot of saves, so there's a chance that they can concede a lot of shots, but I don't think in the previous season they would have had that much of a better defence for XG conceded. So I think I'm going to rule out West Ham on that basis. Nottingham Forest, Manchester United and Newcastle, they're all quite tight. Based on how good Newcastle's defence were in the previous season compared to last season, I think they've got a chance of being the answer here. Manchester United, they did concede a lot of chances in the last season. I'm going to have to use another 50-50, I think, here, just to narrow down.
I'm just going to reread the question for you. Which of the following teams improved in expected goals conceded per game last season compared to the season prior? I.e., the other 3 teams all got worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, 50-50 is there.
Okay, I'm going to... if I think about which teams concede chances, I'm going to say... I think
you've still got 2 lifelines left.
Yeah. It's whether I use one of them and risk it. I'm not 100% sure about my answer, so I'm going to use another 50-50 here. Yeah, I'm going to use 50-50.
Okay, well, the 50-50 this time has removed Manchester United and West Ham.
Okay. That's interesting because I did wonder about Nottingham Forest, and with Nuno coming in, how much that did improve their defence at the end, last stage of the season. So for that reason, I'm going to in final answer Nottingham Forest.
Very well done, mate. That is the correct answer, and another good use of your lifeline there. So that is £15 banked. And yeah, let's get you up to that £20 mark, hopefully with this question coming up next. As of the new rules in the 24-25 season, which of the following earns 2 bonus points in a game for you? A shot on target, B, a key pass, C, a foul won, or D, a cross from open play?
Okay, so in my head, I'm eliminating the 2 that are not shot on target and foul won, because I remember when the changes were announced on the FPL website, that I remember those 2 in particular, looking at potentially attackers becoming more valuable with fouls won and also with shot target. So it's between those 2. In my head, I seem to remember that shots on target was actually surprisingly lower than fouls won, but I'm trying to think whether that's me misremembering what I saw. I know that it's definitely one of the 2. I don't have a 50-50 yet left, and I'm not sure it's worth the phone a friend here. So
if your phone a friend doesn't answer, then I'll give you another 50-50, of course, by the way, just to clarify.
Yeah, sure. Let me think about this. Fouls won and shots on target. My gut is telling me that fouls won wouldn't be as many points, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying to think which way round it was. Okay, I'm gonna. I have this first safety net, don't I?
You've got the £5.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably phone a friend for this one, just to be 100% sure, and I'll see what they say.
Welcome to EE voicemail. I'm sorry, but the person you called is not available.
Oh well, that
Please
might
leave
work
your
out.
message
Might work
after
out
the
better
tone.
for you.
Okay, that's interesting.
Okay, so we've got no response from the phone of friends, so you can have another 50-50.
Yeah, I think
Alright.
it's not worth messing up here, so I'm gonna use the 50-50.
Okay. Well, 50-50 has eliminated options B and C, so you're left with shot on target and cross from open play.
Yeah, well, I'm relieved that I've done that, because I could have easily got those mixed the wrong way around. So that means I'm going to lock in final answer, shots on target.
Yep, you've got lucky there, mate. Well done. Shots on target is the correct answer. A pretty tricky question, if I do say so myself, but you're in luck that you looked through and kind of knew which ones had changes around them anyway. So that was some very good preparation on your part, I guess, but not really preparation. You're keeping up well with the new rules. Right, and now you're only one question away from the £25 safety net.
Yeah.
So I'm really rooting for you here, mate. Let's see if we can get you there with this question coming up for you now. Which player missed the most big chances in the 23-24 season just gone?
Okay.
A. Erling Haaland, B. Darwin Núñez, C. Nicholas Jackson, and D. Ollie Watkins.
Right. So interesting. In my head, because he had a lot of chances, I think Haaland is still up for consideration, even though he obviously, his conversion was obviously very good. He did miss a few sitters last season, and he was, a lot of chances were created for him, so he didn't have that many chances that he converted, even though he scored so many goals, 27 goals last season. Darwin Núñez is a very tempting answer, missed a lot of chances. Jackson the same for Chelsea. So on that basis, I think I'm going to rule out Ollie Watkins. I'm pretty confident it's not Watkins. Between Núñez and Jackson, I don't know. It feels quite tight, but I'm convinced that it feels unlikely to be Erling Haaland. I don't think Haaland would have missed more than Núñez. I mean, Núñez did have kind of a stage in the season where he wasn't playing as many minutes, but I still think he would have missed enough chances to have missed more than Haaland. So I think
it's not per 90, it's total. Just to clarify.
Yeah, it is total. Okay, so that is interesting. I think for me that rules out Haaland. So I'm going to think between Núñez and Jackson. I mean, Jackson, he did actually end up finishing chances towards the end of the season. So it was maybe more earlier on in the season, whereas I think Núñez was throughout a lot of the season. Obviously, he had that game against Newcastle where he kind of started really well, but I'm pretty sure that throughout most of the season, Darwin was missing chances. It's a tricky one, this one. I'm pretty sure it can't be Haaland. Just trying to think if I've overseen that. But no, I'm pretty confident that it's between Núñez and Jackson, and it's down to a very small margin of who it is, really. My gut, before you read out the question, was Darwin. But it's whether his kind of stereotype of missing chances has just clouded my judgment there. But I'm pretty confident it is Darwin Núñez. Without a lifeline, I might as well have to take a punt here. So I'm going to say Darwin Núñez answer.
Oh, I'm sorry, mate. It was Haaland.
It was Haaland. Oh, that's gutting.
Yeah. I really stressed because I had that question and then another question switch around in difficulty, and I think you probably would have got the next one. And yeah, I'm really gutted. For clarification to everyone, we did a trial run with Roberto for this video, and in that he got to £25. Just the reporting went wrong and everything. So I'll be donating that regardless to charity for Roberto for his course. So we know that a decent amount is still going to charity anyway. Not that £5 isn't a significant sum of money, but yeah, probably a more difficult set of questions. Maybe subconsciously when I was writing them, that was being thought because you did so well last time. But very, very well, good effort, mate, today, and you used the lifelines really well. Probably going to feel a bit disappointed, aren't you? But you shouldn't, because you did really well.
It's gutting. Yeah. It's hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Once you know the answers, you think, oh well, Man City probably did create more chances, but I just have this vision of Núñez missing so many. So
yeah, I think that's what maybe gets in the way of people. Everyone at home was probably thinking the exact same thing. Anyone watching, I think Darwin's got that reputation for himself, hasn't he? But it was just based on sheer amount, basically. Which is why his total amount over the season for Haaland was quite a way higher than Núñez's. But they were the top four, so tricky options. So yeah, very well done today, mate. Of course, the £25 still going to charity, so feel good about that. And yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. Hopefully, with some technical difficulties now solved, thanks to Roberto massively, we should be able to get more guests on and record more episodes. So if you want to see someone else coming on, then make sure to drop them down below in the comments. Hopefully in the future, we'll maybe even go as far as getting Roberto back on and he can have another crack at having some more, answering some more FPL questions, because I find it fun anyway, even if everyone else doesn't.
So yeah, thank you very much.
All right, all the best, Roberto, and thank you to everyone watching. Make sure to leave a thumbs up on the series if you're continuing to enjoy it. As I said, let me know who you want to see on next. And other than that, we'll bid you farewell until the next one. Goodbye.